Yo, what's going on, boys? Collision Works here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, boys, we are going to be breaking down the Bills offense. Yes, I have moved over to the Bills. It's a really solid playbook, man. I want to go over primarily today the 2x2 formations, which will consist of normal Y off close, a little bit of normal Y off, but kind of just double Z close and normal Y off. And then obviously, we got to talk the Y off X close, which is basically just U trips. If you guys saw the Patriots U trips video, you guys can obviously apply this if you guys are coming over to the Bills. But if you guys take this, you guys can go back to the Bats offense and take this information with you. I'm not going to be covering the same plays. I want to go over some new stuff that I have for U trips, and it will apply here. It's obviously going to apply in the Patriots offense. So yeah, just know today we're going to be talking about these offenses primarily. At a later date, might go over tight and some other formations here in the playbook. But for now, want to go over just what I've been running and break it down. So to start, I want to go with the normal Y off close. I'm going to be talking about the cheat flat post. This is kind of my base play here for the Y off close. So I want to get this out of the way. I will say, guys, two major things before we get into it. I highly recommend you get a running back with running back apprentice. It's just going to play a big part in this offense for me. So I would be lying if I said it wasn't important. And then up next, before we get into it, for the defense, I haven't made a video in a while, so I just want to emphasize this. I'm going to have my curl flat set to 5. The reason I do this is because with these plays, if we're going up against a deep zone coverage like cover 4, cover 3, things like that, with purples playing the sideline, I want to show you guys how these routes get kind of above those. But in a real game scenario, if they're not getting above them, that means they're playing off. So we have to take the underneath, right? So I'm going to be talking about that through the video. But just know, I obviously want to show you guys how it's supposed to look if they're playing underneath, how you can get deeper. But in game, we want to go ahead and take the underneath, obviously, so that they can play underneath so we can get these results. So I'll be talking about both of them, what we're going to be looking at throughout the video. But just know, in case it looks like they're playing low, that is intentional for this breakdown. So let's go ahead and start here with the flat post out of Y off close. I'm going to be talking about cover 3 and cover 4 to begin. And we're going to start here with our running back on the far side of the field. Let's go get into it. All right, guys, so against cover 3 and cover 4 as well, all we're going to be doing for the first setup is putting our tight end here on a flat route. Going to go ahead and put our running back on a princess wheel. Then we're going to go ahead and streak X. So this is going to be your play art. Now, against the cover 3 and cover 4, sorry for repeating myself, what I love about this being our base play is it's going to give us a good measurement of how our user likes to handle his kind of, off the snap user placement. If I know he likes to attack the wheel and play that, I'm going to have a zig here in the middle of the field helping us out where his user is no longer there. Late in the play, if he wants to stay low and underneath, we're going to have our post over the top as well. Obviously, we need to watch out for a switch stick. That goes without saying, but it's really nice to have this to start the game. Now, here in this cover 3, to make this stuff look better, I'm going to go ahead and take away this man defender just because I want it just to be a cover 3 base, because if I'm adding a whole bunch of man coverage, we could go all day. But base cover 3 here, guys, what we're looking for here is the wheel off the rip. If that's not available to us, we can go ahead and take the zig in the middle as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up one more time. Go ahead and put the user here on the D line. Again, you're just going to go ahead and flat the tight end. You're going to wheel your running back and streak. So let's say that the user wants to play the seam, right? I'll go ahead and put this guy here in a man coverage assignment. He may not play the best man, but let's say that the running back isn't an option, okay? We can go ahead and snap the ball here, and you guys will see that this zig, obviously the spy's there to cover him, but this zig is going to kind of be that position in the middle of the field where we can go ahead and throw that with that user out of the area. So I don't want to sit in instant replay for too long, but just assume that this spy isn't here. We can go ahead and throw this ball here, or if we want to go ahead and wait for it to develop, we can go ahead and throw it kind of anywhere within this time. Because we have this post kind of keeping this vertical hook up as well. So this zig is going to be crucial to help us out. Obviously, this dude is not going to be there, but nice little zig to have coming from the slot. So obviously, late portion of this play, if that user wants to stay underneath, if you get a little bit of time, you can just go ahead and throw B here, and X is going to do a great job pulling him upfield so we can go ahead and get some easy yards. So it's a solid play. It's good. I like it. It's definitely for me more of a base play. It's what I like to come out and get a feel for it. Nice safe play to have. Against cover 4 guys, it's going to look the exact same. So I'll go ahead and just set this up one more time and we'll go ahead and move on. But same exact setup. Against the cover 4, going to get the same exact look as long as, they're playing, a real cover 4. So have your running back there. Obviously, if the wheel's going to get more covered than the inside, you can go ahead and hitch your zig coming from the slot. Go ahead and show you guys that real quick. Hit that. And listen, if you want it to develop, you can wait longer to throw it. It's just going to be depending on any type of adjustment or coverage that your opponent is making. So we'll go ahead and do this one more time and just show you guys the post here. Try to survive the pocket, and then we just go ahead and float this up to the post. So nice little simple play, nothing too crazy. Kind of, we're attacking the right side seam. We can attack the left side seam, keep that user underneath, and then we can attack over the top with the post. So nice one to kind of open up in. Sorry for rambling. Just want to show you guys it against different coverages. What we can also do is I ran this stuff a little more last year, kind of like double wheels on each side of the field against the A gap 3-2-6 meta. It's not like as like relevant, but it's still definitely worth noting and talking about. This is going to be out of the cheat slash wheel in, and if you are going up and against an opponent who is kind of coverage heavy, kind of sending three often, I'm gonna go ahead and turn away or turn off the spy again. But let's say you have a guy who's just sitting in cover 3, cover 4, we can use this double wheel to our advantage. So all we're going to do for this setup, guys, is we're going to go ahead and put the running back on a wheel again. We're going to go ahead and put our B receiver on an out route. Finally, we're just going to go ahead and drag our tight end and streak X. So what we're doing here is we are attacking the right side seam against the deep zone coverage, and then late in the play, we can go ahead and hit our Y wheel on the left side sideline. So obviously, this is going to look better because we have our purple set to 5, so we can go ahead and throw Y rather quickly. But I'll go ahead and talk about it here in a moment after we hit this wheel, and you guys can see what we can hit underneath if they're not playing, in underneath coverage. So again, go ahead, set this up, snap the ball, and you guys see we can go ahead and hit Y here underneath the deep zone on the left and go ahead and get ourselves some easy yards. But let's say that they have reset their play, so they're kind of they're just in a base purple. I'll go ahead and just shade over the top here. You guys see we have 2 curl flats here. I'll actually do this. This would be a little better. There we go. So we have 2 purples. In this situation, this wheel is going to be harder to throw, okay? So that's when we'll go ahead and hit the underneath here. Go ahead and hit our tight end. Let him get our easy yards, throw a block for us, and then, just hit the drag. It's the underneath is always going to be easy. That's why I don't like to, emphasize it too much. That's why I like to play those low zones. So in this situation where you can't throw that wheel, underneath is going to be wide open for you. And if they're in a Mabel, then we can go back to the flat wheel or the flat post, whatever that last play was called, and go ahead and take care of that as well. So let's go ahead and move on. I will say, if you guys want the drag coming from the left side of the field, you can leave the tight end on this motion go route. All you're going to do is just put X here on the drag, and then you can do pretty much the same exact setup, just going to look a little differently. I'll go ahead and take away the man defender as well, just to keep it consistent with the cover 3 look. And we can run it just like this. So go ahead and allow him to go ahead, snap the ball here, and then you guys can throw this with the tight end pulling the third instead of the outside receiver. Sometimes, depending on what you're going up against, it can be better. Against a cover 4, this may struggle a bit just because that outside quarter may not follow up as easy as the third does with his responsibility. So just keep that in mind. But it's really just going to be the same exact thing. You're just changing who's running that drag and who's pulling. It could be nice. It could be a nice addition. Right here, the wheel's like absolutely covered. Say the user went in that direction, we go ahead and hit our drag in the middle. If the user wants to stay in the middle and guard that drag, we go ahead and hit our wheel. So really straightforward. Nothing too crazy. You guys know, if you've seen my other guides and offenses, I love wheel routes out of the slot. I think they're awesome. Play a big role in my offense. And it's a must. It is an absolute must. So up next, I want to talk about, well, I guess I can go and show you guys this against, I'll show you guys this against cover 4 real quick. And just so you guys can see what it's going to look like with the X on the drag with the tight end pulling. So we'll go ahead and run this like so. Snap the ball. And you guys see, I mean, he still pulls them both, but, listen, it's nice. You kind of can just change up. Basically, you're doing the same play. You're just changing up who does it. This could be really good against somebody who's manning people up, and you're basically changing, if they're running a man zone hybrid, you're changing who is the primary route, who's the puller. Can help you out a lot. So just keep this in mind. Keep this in your bag. It can be good. It can be helpful to have. But for this, there's obviously some other things we can do. I know in years past, primarily last year, we would always kind of do a streak and C route combo to beat deep zone coverages. This year, guys, the C route's kind of been abandoned. Typically, we would see things like this on the left side of the field where you have a pulling route and then you'd have a C. What we're doing now is we're going to go ahead and put X here on a speed out, okay? You guys, if you're watching MCS, watching streams, anything, Speed outs are phenomenal. But to make them even better, we're going to go ahead and stem them up a little bit. Now, my graphic is glitched because I have two controllers in, so it's hard to kind of put it exactly where I want it, but kind of just like 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. It's nice. If you want to go a little deeper just to get out of the way of the purple, you can. But just know what we're looking for is this out route. And you guys can do this with the wheel as well. If you are like hell-bent on it, you can absolutely do this. But if you want to keep that post off the right side, you can do that as well. So you guys can have your play art look something like this. And then you guys can just go ahead and snap this here. If the underneath isn't open, we go ahead and throw our out route. And like I said, you can push that deeper if you'd like. It's completely up to you. If you guys want to pair this with like a Texas, sometimes in practice mode they bump, but this is very similar to the curl flats out of trips where you're going to have that drag and Texas combo, which can be really, really good. And then we're going to have a little post on the backside if you want it. It's completely up to you. You can change B. You can put them on whatever you want on this play. I'm just kind of showing you guys some options you can have just to beat cover 3 on the sideline. Right here, go throw our out route again. I mean, this speed out just dominates these deep zone coverages. It's so hard to stop. It's pretty much the same exact thing as we were saying earlier, where in last year's game, you'd have a streak and a sear out. This is just kind of quicker. It's better. Really, really good combo. And you can still do this with the wheel if you guys really like those as well. Just make sure you go ahead and pair that with an out route so they can clear and pull those zones for you in that area of the field. If you guys want to keep a zig, just know you guys can always, motion the tight end. If you guys want to go ahead and bring him out here and then have him kind of like on a pull and you want to keep that zig and try to take the out, you can still do that. Or you can go ahead and have that out route and this zig. But, it's just more on the sake of knowing that these options are kind of here for you, and the wheels, the out routes, the zigs, kind of mix these up to your liking. If you need to play it on a different hash, you can. It's just kind of knowing these routes are going to help you against these zones, and we can help beat those coverages as well. So like I said, if you're going up against a real cover 3 and a real cover 4, these setups are pretty much going to be like identical. They're going to work just because of how the game, has these zones pulled by, pulling routes. So I'm going to shut up about cover 3 and cover 4 for a moment here out of the Y off close. I want to talk about beating man coverage, primarily like zero blitzes, just because I want to talk about how to beat man coverage, the routes we can do. For these setup guys, we're going to go ahead and run, normal Y off close again. I guess we can start here. We'll start with cheat flat, just because I keep talking about it. I'll go ahead and do this out of, I'll do double mug. That way it looks similar to what you guys see. Guys, for this setup, what I like to do here against double mug is I like to block my tight end. I like to go ahead and put my running back here on a corner, and then I'm kind of just leaving the play as is. Against zero, one thing I like to do is I kind of like to roll out, but then like attack behind where I was going. So for example, like if I want to roll out here and I see that my, running back is an option, this corner out does a great job. And if I want to kind of roll out with him, if it's an option for us, I can go ahead and get an easier throw on this. Right now, I'm getting contained really well, but typically what I like to do is try to follow that corner, and then I can go ahead and kind of give myself an option where, since they're in man-to-man, I can go ahead and attack the corner here. So let's say I was able to get out right here. I can attack with the running back, or I can go and throw it to the inside here. And I'm not like doing a cross-body throw where my accuracy is going to be, penalized, where I can go ahead, hit the zig coming from the inside, or I can go ahead and hit this running back out of the backfield to help us beat this man coverage. So again, what's nice about this kind of two-way option is it's going to be easier against a switch stick, just because you're going to have two options that are pretty much beating man really well. And we have the tight end blocking, which is just buying us even more time. So if you have the time, you guys can obviously, try to attack the post. We just need to know that blocking that tight end is going to put the safety in a middle third. So, it may not be an option for us to kind of beat somebody across the middle super deep just because we're blocking our tight end. And that's obviously going to put that safety who's manned up to him in a deep zone. But right here, you guys see, unfortunately, I missed the throw, but the running back corner, I absolutely love it against man, and can be a really, really great addition to your offense. And if you guys want to kind of change up who's running what, if you want the tight end on a route, let's just put him on something like a slant, something simple. Just remember, guys, you guys can always motion snap and give yourself protection here. I'm actually going to do this. You can't do it from that 2 receiver side, but if you wanted to do something, I'm not really going to do like a combo here. I just want to show you guys how you can block your receivers here. Once he gets behind that, once he gets beside that left tackle, excuse me, I'm stuttering here. you guys can go and snap this and give yourself protection from the receiver, if you have a route where you want the tight end to be. So if you want like a tight end corner, which are awesome at beating man, but you still need that extra protection, just go ahead, motion snap, block a receiver, and that can help you out. And, if he's going to change up and switch, that zone might be out of position deep down the middle where, if you guys can beat this man coverage defender, kind of cross his face, and then get that inside positioning, you might have a ball available to you. So just know, these are kind of right now I'm kind of just ranting on protection in a few routes, but this isn't going to be the only play we're talking about. But it's nice. It's nice. And like I said, I really like using this corner paired with that zig, just because if he wants to switch stick to the corner, I'm going to have the zig. If he wants to play the zig, I'm going to have the corner. And practice mode, sheds are going to be crazy. So you're honestly going to have more time here in game than what you're even seeing here on the practice mode. All right, guys, but up next against man coverage, we're going to talk about the cheat tight end angle. Again, I'm going to be talking about this against zero pressure. Now, for this setup, guys, I like the running back on the short side of the field. That way, my tight end just has more room to run, well, actually, less room to run. Like this with this cheat angle a lot. It's going to be a lot quicker for him. I like to go ahead and block my running back here, and then we're going to go ahead and put our X receiver here on a post. We're going to go ahead and put our B receiver on a speed out, and you're going to go ahead and bring him up a little bit. I know my graphic is glitched. It might be a little slow to show itself, but this is going to be the play art. If you guys want to put Y on something different, you can. Honestly, I don't know what to put him on right now because I feel like with the inside positioning that comes stock with this, I can't really put him on a drag that's going to be super effective, and I think it's just kind of weird to put him on an out route and have two out routes. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with Y. You guys can put him on whatever you want. If you guys have an idea, let me know. But this cheat angle from the tight end is disgusting. Once he cuts on this route, he torches everybody. Now, right there, we do get a block from the wide receiver. If you feel like he's in your way, then guys, just like put him on a streak, put him on a corner, get him out of the play. But with this out route, he's going to deep fry. The post has potential to absolutely deep fry. This tight end angle, if that user is not playing him, he's going to absolutely blow by his defender. Go ahead, throw this one more time, then we'll talk about the other routes. But this angle route is incredible. With the motion, he can't be pressed. Amazing. It's just awesome. And then, of course, you're going to have the speed out here off the right side as well. So go ahead, show this to you guys again. I'm going to go ahead and throw B this time against the man coverage. And you guys see, I mean, he's just getting absolutely torched. And if you pick up the pressure, if you have time, you guys can obviously roll out and try and hit your your post deep in the play as well. So I might get screamed at if I try to roll out on the edge. If we can pick them up, then try and get to the outside and then try and go deep, this will be an option for you as well. I understand that might not always be common because it's difficult, especially with the throw and the run penalties that are possible and things like that. But just know it is an option for you. Or as players get better throughout the year and you guys want to run this, might be more applicable then. I still feel like it's kind of applicable now, but I gotta give the fine print. Okay, so again, tight end angle, it's going to be incredible. Speed out, it's going to be incredible. You can't run man. We're going to torch it. And we're in good position. We're in good position. So remember for this play, I like the tight end, or I'm sorry, the running back on the short side of the field. I would much rather have my tight end running towards the short side with less field than the far side. It's just how I like to run it. But obviously, you guys can do whatever you like and whatever works for the situation. So that was cheat tight end angle. Alrighty, guys, and then finally for zero blitzes, we're going to go back to the flat post. It's like the greatest play in the game. But all we're going to be doing here, guys, is just blocking our tight end. Keep that running back on the wheel like we were doing earlier. But your B receiver, we don't want him on this post. I know it looks awesome. I know it looks great. For this setup, I like to go ahead and put him on an end route, and then we're just going to go ahead and bring that up to kind of like the 10-yard mark. I know I did a little further. It's just the graphics glitch. It's just a little tough to fine-tune it when you have two controllers plugged in. But this is what we want. Just give ourselves a little bit more time, have two in-breaking routes helping us out, and given that we're blocking the tight end, that middle third is not going to be able to stop the wheel route from the backfield. So if we just have a moment to survive, we can go ahead and freeform this over the top to our running back. And if that isn't an option, if they've put something out there or if they are using it, like we were saying, we're going to have our inside threats as well. So go ahead and stem B up just a little bit here. Go ahead and have our zig, have our in route. Obviously, if we can hit our zig later in the play, we can hit B. We just want to avoid the user in this situation where they're going to be mugging, they're going to be sending pressure, they're going to try and bait us up. We need to make sure we have people all over to help us out. So go ahead and run this back. Try and go ahead and hit B here. You can hit it earlier if it's there. If it's not, just wait for it to develop. If you guys want to kind of change up Y's route, you want to get them on something a little quicker, you can obviously do that as well. Excuse me. But pretty much what we're looking for. We want to keep that wheel out there on the play. Go ahead, put Y here on a drag. That's not an option. Go ahead, hit B here on the in route. Just kind of experiment with all of these different, concepts, knowing that you can bounce back to the cheat angle by the tight end on the motion. Know that we have the zig. Know that we can run speed outs. Know that we can run digs that are smart routed in. Knowing we can hit those wheels. We can hit those wheels when we're blocking a player that's causing that middle zone to spawn. We just need to remember all of these things. We can motion snap block the B receiver if we need extra time, if we want to put the running or the tight end on something. So just remember, guys, all of these man coverage plays, they're going to kind of be interchangeable. And why that's important to know is because not everybody is just running man coverage. If people were just running man and not throwing in some zones, it's going to be the easiest thing to beat. So we need to know that we have these tools in case they want to throw out a purple, or in case they want to throw out a flat, in case they want to run a middle third or a deep half or something like that. We're going to have other threats on the field that are going to be able to beat their man coverage defenders. So, alrighty, guys, a post commentary real quick. It's obviously not a Collision Works video unless there's a post commentary, but for the flat post, guys, for this setup, another way we can go about it is, again, blocking your tight end, putting running back on the wheel. But what we're going to do here is put our X receiver on a out route. It's going to be a speed out, okay? This is so we can keep this post in the middle of the field. Now, we need to keep in mind that blocking that tight end is going to put the safety into a middle third. So if we want to throw this post, we're going to have to wait a little later. So you're going to have to know if you want to do a short stem on the speed out or a deep one. But, that B post may get bagged depending on how much time you have. But still, I just feel like it's just so good having these speed outs against man. I love them. They cook them. And you're still going to have that wheel on the other side of the field. Obviously, if you do a deeper speed out, it's going to be more like connected to the deep post. So let's say we had time here and we can throw B late. Do you see how he ends up getting where X is? So we need to be, cautious about how deep we're going to be doing the speed out. So just keep this in mind. Like I said, you guys see he kind of goes upfield and it could get a little congested, a little tight, but I feel like if they're using, somebody who's supposed to be that deep zone drop back defender, this setup could be, potentially there for you because there's not going to be that deep zone in the middle. So, just keep this in mind. You can try to block your running back if you want to do a setup like this where you have the tight end going out and then attacking. If you can get a pass lead down, I know like right there he's covered, but what I want to emphasize is just with this post, it can be an option depending on what coverage they're playing. You're just going to want to make sure you have your, your pass lead down and your click on locked in. But just wanted to throw this in there. I know it's not like the sexiest, but I feel like this speed out is just so good. And I know there's going to be some guys that really want to keep the post from B on the field. We can do that. We just need to go about it the right way, and felt like we could incorporate it with this setup. One final note, actually, because I'm not done talking about man. This is kind of going to be a glimpse of what we'll be talking about later. But, if you can mix in a good jet touch pass, or I know in this playbook, I think it's on the back end, the spread Y flex, you have a really good QB zone, which can be pretty decent depending on how your opponent is setting up his blitz, where you can just find an angle and then get around. Against man coverage, guys, you can legit run the ball. Having a good inside zone is going to be really helpful against heavy blitzers. Having a mobile QB, like I'm using Lamar here, just to get to the edge, and you don't need to get a touchdown. You don't need to go get 7 every single time you run with the quarterback. Take what he gives you, get him out of those pressure defenses. That way we can go back to the easy conservative, coverage beaters that we have and exploit his defense. So just keep this in mind. Take what he gives you and go about it like so. It's going to keep your offense open. It's going to keep it hard to predict. And, with that in mind, when they're going back to more coverages, we're going to have plays that help spread the user thin so we can attack opposite of where he's present. So let's go ahead and move on here. With the 2x2, I just want to close by talking about cover 2 defense. First setup, guys, let me go back to the notes here. We're going to go ahead and put the B receiver here on a hot routed post. Kind of has that upwards angle, which is going to help get the safety to play more inside the field. We're just going to bring him up a little bit on the stem, go and put that wheel in by the running back, and have this play here where we can go ahead and, I know I keep talking about wheel routes. I'm sorry. I like him a lot. But like I said, if the underneath is open, guys, please take it. Don't be, ignorant to it. But if you have this option here with the wheel, take it. But obviously, tight end, hit him every single time. Keep throwing to the open receiver. Up next, though, you also will just have on the short side of the field, if we go and bring the ball over to the right hash, you can just run a simple flood where you'll go ahead and just put your tight end on an angle, table the running back, streak B, and we're beating cover two every single time. If they're not running a Mabel, it's over. Take what he gives you underneath, open, take it. If he plays a hard flat, take your tight end. I'll go ahead and play a hard flat here manually so you guys can see him get open. If he's still struggling to get open, just stem that corner up further. Just keep it simple. Right here, hard flat, go ahead, hit the tight end. Easy throw there. And then if we have a little bit of time, once the post on the backside crosses the safety's face, you can go ahead and hit him as well. Just like so. So obviously, be mindful of the switch stick, but pretty straightforward stuff, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and pause this here. Like we were saying earlier with man, there are some really solid run plays in these formations as well. The U-Trips even has better run plays than the Pats version, but if you guys like touch passes, it's going to be here for you. If you guys even like a QB power, if you guys go just one formation over to Y off, you're going to have that play there for you so you can run it and keep it with the quarterback. These are going to be awesome to audible into and mix out. And you guys can even throw out of it if you guys want to run one of these motion plays where you can hot route, really change up the offense and provide new looks against your opponent. But we're going to go ahead and stop there for the 2x2s right now. I may add more things to the Discord over the next few days, but obviously if it's anything groundbreaking, we'll go ahead and cover this again with the Bills. So let's go ahead and talk about U-Trips here. We got a lot to add to it, and if you guys are running Pats, like I said, you can still apply these Bills plays to your New England offense. Alright guys, now beginning here in U-Trips for the Bills, just remember in Bills it's going to be labeled as the Y off X close. We're going to be starting here with scat. Now, for U-Trips guys, unless I kind of state otherwise, we're going to go ahead and keep our tight end on the far side of the field. So we'll go ahead and start here against cover 3. Again, I'm going to go ahead and select cover 3 lock and just spy the man defender. That way it's just a standard cover 3. We are still in the 5-yard purple zone drop. For this play, fellas, all we're going to do here is go ahead and streak X and put our tight end here on a corner and go ahead and motion him to the short side. Finally, we're just going to go ahead and put RB here on a post, and our play art is set up. Now, I know the running back looks like he's going to be on a wheel. If we remember from our former videos, this scat wheel plays very much like a table route. It's like a delay wheel almost. It takes a while to create that. Your tight end is going to get to the sideline way quicker than the wheel by the running back. So we'll go ahead and run this. We're not going to throw the running back here because the zone drop is set to 5, but you guys see he runs very much to the sideline first and then cuts up, and he's not really going to be, in a way where he's going to lift zones up to that corner. Or I'm sorry, to the corner. Sorry about that. Now also keep in mind, even if the zone drops are like low, I wouldn't necessarily do this against like a cover 2, but if they're running a purple low zone drop, you guys can still sometimes just force this running back wheel just because of how he runs, and you guys can get your easy yards. If you guys have seen my U-Trips gameplay from last year, because I really haven't posted too much gameplay, you guys know that's still kind of going to play the same way. You just need to be careful if they're in like a cover 3 cloud and that's the hard flat side, or if they're in a cover 2 where that hard flat is going to be played by the DB on the sideline. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, what's nice about this play as well, guys, is we also have some routes coming from the far side of the field that are going to help us out. We have a nice high-low with RB and B. So if we don't want to look to the left side of the field, we can also look here on the post. Kind of threw that a little too early. He also had the man defender on him, but this post can do a good job as well late in the play. Go ahead and show this again, just because that was a terrible example. I'll go ahead and spy that man up DB. That way it just looks a little better, and you guys can see what it's going to look like against a cover 3. But this post, if you wait for it to develop, you guys can go ahead and freeform that to the left in that portion of the field. Right there, we're getting pressured, so I'll go ahead and just show the instant replay. Is it the best route? I mean, I like it. I think it's nice. You just need to make sure you're kind of freeforming here to cut him off, and you can go ahead and click on and get away from this safety. But, if the user wants to follow him, you're also going to have your drag coming from the right side of the field as well. So go ahead and show this one more time. And if that user wanted to go upfield, you can go ahead and throw this drag and then go get yourself some easy yards. So it's a nice little zone beater. That's it against cover 3. I can go ahead and run it against cover 2 as well. So go ahead and do the same setup again. Get a flood here on the left, which we know if they are playing a cover 2, something's going to be open because it's one flat zone trying to cover both, high-low routes. So you can easily hit the underneath. If they were to play a cover 2 hard flat, you're obviously going to go ahead and hit your corner by the tight end. So I'll go ahead audible Tampa 2 again. Go ahead shade underneath this time, just so you guys can expect that the wheel is going to be covered. So if they were to press and play a hard flat here out of the cover 2, wheel won't be an option, but your over the top with the tight end will be. Just wait for that to develop, hit that over the top, and you got yourself your tight end corner. And then, of course, against the cover 2, I'm not going to shade underneath this time, but you're also going to have your deep post. You're just going to have to hit this a little later and allow the X to go ahead and pull that deep half on the left side of the field to help you out. So if we can survive here, freeform this down against cover 2, it does a really good job. Cover 4, it's going to look pretty much the exact same as the cover 3, except you might have a harder time hitting that post down the middle. You're going to use that post against a cover 4 more if the user is taking the underneath, and you can go ahead and throw that over the top. So this is it against a cover 4. Go ahead and bring this tight end over again. Go ahead and just use the streak in the post. Leave that drag. And if the underneath is there, guys, please take it. But because we have our zone drop set, we're going to go ahead and throw it over the top to the corner. But please hit the underneath. Make them play underneath. That way you guys can go over the top a lot easier. Go and show this one more time against a cover 4 drop. Let me go ahead and make sure I am in a cover 4. We are. Go put this corner out here. Snap the ball. If the underneath is there, go ahead, take it with B. And if that user wants to stay underneath, the post isn't going to be the best against cover 4. I'm not going to sit here and act like it is. But if that's the case, we can go ahead and change up our play call. But just know the rest of the routes are going to be an option for you. Just be mindful of that post from the slot receiver against cover 4. It may not be the best route to look at. Now we're going to be talking about just a simple cover 3 bomb. We're going to go ahead and run this out of cover 3 lock again. The play is going to be cross slot post. Let me go ahead and run this to the short side. That way you guys can see how we're going to be doing this, because this play is supposed to be on the short side and I completely messed it up. Sorry about that. But again, here's the play call. It's just going to be a stemmed up post and a corner by the tight end. You can block your running back or leave him on his check and release, but pretty much we just need to survive, let that tight end corner pull that zone down, and then we go ahead and just hit this over the top. And yeah, that's really it. Go do it one more time, then we'll go ahead and move on. I don't want to sit on this too long, but solid play. Remember, this is going to be on the short side. Very important. Makes it a lot easier to hit over the top. We accidentally had him rub, but you guys see that deep post can get over the top just because that drag is going to kind of make the right side third play that tight end corner, and we'll be in business. We will be in good business. I got pressure there, so I'll go ahead and show this one more time. The main thing is just knowing that right side third is going to go ahead and play the tight end corner as long as you stem up this post. If you don't stem him up, that outside quarter is going to drop back right there. Maybe we could have stemmed him up a little further. Just kind of get a feel for it, and just know the stemmed up route is required for that post to get open over the top consistently, and you have to run this on the short side. Alright guys, now for the U-Trips cover 4 Palms bomb, we're going to be running whip dig. If you guys are still in the Patriots offense and you're watching this video, just use tight end whip. Anything that has this tight end on his zig route is going to work for you. So we'll go ahead and run whip dig here. We're going to want the tight end on the far side of the field. I went ahead and set my coaching adjustments to default. That way we can get the palms to actually work here without the zone drops. Now, guys, all we're going to be doing for this setup here is putting RB on a streak. I like to go ahead and put my B receiver on a speed out, and I like to stem him up just a little bit, kind of like right under 10 yards, something like that. Nothing too crazy. X, you can kind of put him on whatever you want. I would just kind of put him on a slant, something simple. Running back, you can do whatever you want. I would just recommend either you could block him, you could put him on a table. I'll go ahead and block him for this example. But guys, what we're going to be looking for here is our RB receiver. Pretty much the purple seam flat that's in front of him will match on to him at the start. But once he sees that this tight end zig is coming, he will go ahead and drop and switch the go route to the safety. Problem is, though, is that it's going to be just too quick, and it's going to leave the receiver open over the top. I'll go ahead, quit blabbering, snap the ball, and just show you guys what I'm talking about. Right here, I think, can you not block your running back? Maybe you have to leave the running back on a route. My apologies. Pretty much, though, same setup. You're just going to go ahead streak, go ahead and out the B receiver. I like to bring him up a little bit, leave the running back on a route, and you guys will see that purple is going to go ahead and match to the tight end. Sorry about that. I didn't know that. I thought you could block your running back. I don't know if that was a fluke or not. I'm going to say for this video, just leave your running back on a route. I think it probably changes the matching principles, but doesn't take much time at all. This is pretty much just going to be your setup. Snap the ball. You guys see that purple matches to the tight end later. Go ahead, free form to the outside. Like I said, if you guys want to use a corner route, you absolutely can. Just really personal preference. I think if you just have equal speed to whoever's matching, you're probably going to be in good hands. But, you know, like I said, if you want to do a corner, you can absolutely do that. Something like this, and then go ahead, snap the ball. You're going to get that same exact look. He's going to go ahead and match, and then you can go ahead and throw this. So it's really personal preference, whatever you want. But this is it against Palms. Again, this is going to be the tight end on the far side of the field. Up next, I want to talk about, let's talk about red zone. I think red zone would be kind of a good stopping point. I know we kind of went all over the place in this video, but it's just because I've talked about some of these formations before, and I kind of want us to add to them. And that's what I really like about Bills. So watching this guide, you guys are kind of just following me and how I like to play the game. Alrighty, guys, now for the red zone. One thing I want to stress before we talk about the play here in Y off trips week, guys, if they are running a coverage that we have been able to beat with the normal Y off close or the U trips, guys, by all means, you guys can run the plays we've talked about in the red zone. You can also run the ball. If you're just kind of getting a little stumped or confused, I wanted to go ahead and throw goal line fork zig here out of the Y off trips week. That way you guys kind of have a play that you know you'll be confident in the red zone against multiple coverages. This is going to be kind of like the red zone play, but like I said, anything we've done before, if you feel like it's going to be a high potential for success, run that play, run the ball. You can do anything here. Just want to put this in as a quote unquote red zone play. Now, again, play is going to be goal line fork zig. We're going to be running this against cover 2 and cover 3 hard flats. Now, we can obviously run this against like cover 3 purples if they're running that, but we'll obviously cover what we're looking at while we go ahead and hop into it. So I'm going to start here against a Tampa 2. I'm going to show this with a hard flat first. So this is going to be cover 2 hard flat. The plays, or I'm sorry, the routes we're going to be looking at rather against a cover 2 hard flat is going to be the tight end corner and the X on the zig. So obviously at the start, snap the ball. We see that they're in a hard flat. We're going to go ahead and throw this corner to the tight end. Easy throw. Now on the left side, guys, this zig paired with this, I think they call it a ghost route, whatever the running back route is on his little check. The DB in the hard flat on the left will go ahead and play the running back route. That's going to leave our zig open on the left side. Now, what I like to do for this throw is I like to pass lead it upfield. I don't like to free form. And you don't even have to pass lead it that aggressively. I'll go ahead and do this one more time. Sorry about that. I got pressured. But all we're going to be looking for here is once we see that that DB kind of goes down to the running back, we're just going to lightly pass lead up this zig, and it's incredible. It's really nice. Nice versatile play. We can hit the left. We can hit the right. If they were to just play like an off coverage, like just cover 2 cloud, you guys can go ahead and just hit the running back, something like this, and then go ahead and try and just get a little something just to reset. You can also run the ball with your running or your quarterback, excuse me. Against the cloud flat, it's not the best play. It's just not. But, you know, if they're playing that hard flat, it's going to be great for you. We'll go and snap the ball again. If they are playing like clouds, you can throw this delay slant. You just really need to be careful. Where I think this is going to be a little problematic is when people kind of get pick artist everywhere. But against the cover 2 with clouds, you guys can throw this delay slant by B. You just need to be like, you know, cautious of how that vertical hook is playing or if he's playing man. But if they're in that cloud, the corner by the tight end and the slant by the slot, those are going to go ahead and spread the zones away and leave that pocket for the B receiver in the middle. So really, I mean, how you're going to know what to throw is just based off what that right side slot, or I'm sorry, the right side outside corner is going to be doing. Because if he's going to be playing underneath, we know that we'll go ahead and be able to hit the tight end here. So if they go ahead shade underneath, we know, yeah, he's hanging low. I can go ahead and just throw this up to the right side pylon. And then we're in good hands. If they're playing the cloud and we know that the left side is not, you know, peeling off, we know we can go ahead and throw this here into the seam for the B receiver. It's quick. I know you can run this a couple times. Like I said, if nothing is open and they're, you know, not really sending much pressure, you can try and run with the QB something like that. I know it might be a little more difficult now, but in years past with U-trips, I'd like to go ahead and sometimes just throw my tight end here on a streak. And then if that user wanted to kind of like flare out to the seam, I would just highball it. I know that's a little more difficult now since they changed it, but if that user is sleeping, this can still be a good play for you if he wants to try and play like the right side or the left, and he wants to move that middle linebacker. Now against a cover three, guys, you're really going to do the same exact setup. So I'll go ahead and do a cover three hard flat here and show you guys what we're looking at. So if they're in a cover three hard flat, we can go ahead and snap the ball here. And again, go ahead and just throw the B receiver once he gets to the seam. You can also throw your zig here against a cover three hard flat. Against a cover three stock, I don't know if I'd really like suggest this play, but also I don't really know who's playing a stock cover three within like the 5-yard line or 10-yard line. So you kind of have that going for you as well. But if they are in a cover three hard flat, we can go ahead and throw our zig here. Just want to make sure we're kind of pass leading that away from that safety or that flat zone player, but still making sure it's inbounds. If you guys hop into practice mode, try this play out, you'll kind of get that feel of where to pass lead it. Really solid play. And, it's just kind of nice to have. And in case you're kind of a little flustered, don't really know what to run in the red zone, I wanted to throw this thing in here. This is it against a cover three with purples. It's just not really the move to me. You could maybe check it down to the running back once that slant gets there, but if he's sending pressure, might be a little difficult, but you'll have the opportunity to have the slant block for you once he cuts the middle of the field and, he gets into this portion. But like I said, it's not going to be like the best, but there is enough spacing so you can dump it off to the running back. This guy sits here, so if the user is, getting to the running back side and a cover three with purples, the B receiver will kind of sit for you, and the rest of the routes will go ahead and space it. You can also try to step up, but like I said, you can still throw your B receiver. It's just going to be a lot later, and it's just not the best play against a cover three, unless they're playing a hard flat, of course. But I'll go ahead and throw B here late. Like I said, I know you're going to need a lot of time, but right there at that end point, B will get open against a cover three, but we just need to watch out for the user. So sorry for the rant. I know that was a lot there for red zone, but I really like this play if I just kind of want to give a fresh look or kind of just have a play in the red zone that really spreads everybody out. Could be really good against a user. And like I said, I kind of preach it all the time. U-trips, I think, is a great offense for somebody who wants to get into competitive Madden, who's just starting, because you're going to have that tight end on the line that you can block any blitz in. And you can just really spread out the field, which will kind of isolate the user, and you can learn his tendencies throughout. So guys, I think I'm going to stop this here. I want to have gameplay out in the next couple days, and then we'll probably talk further into this playbook and talk about other formations. Again, if you want more U-trips, I did a video recently on it as well out of the Pats. That is going to be completely applicable for here. I'm like 95% sure. Might miss one play, but still definitely worth watching. I've done a trips video as well out of the running gun. We will go ahead and maybe talk about that in the next video. I want to talk about tight soon. So maybe we skip it, maybe we don't. Not entirely sure yet. But this playbook is awesome. I like it a lot. Really excited to go advance in it, go forward with it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know here in the comments or hit me up on Discord. And thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. See you guys soon, and expect gameplay in the next couple days here out of the Bills. Love you, boys. Have a good one. Peace!